Autobots, this Prime just destroyed the Decepticons' #2 varmint. He can't be working for Megatron.
Welcome back to the Tide Hanger. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the FansToys Outrider. This is their take on a very G1-esque Trailbreaker, and it's been a long time coming. This figure has been pushed back for about, 5 years or something like that, but still, it's a pretty solid figure. There are some things that they're doing with it that seem like it's modernized, some things that they're doing with it that seem like it's a bit archaic in a way, but overall, it's a pretty solid, good-looking figure overall, and it does have that feel and all of that. But I did get mine. It shows you can get yours there too. I'll have a link down below where you can get yours. So let's get into looking at this, the good, the bad of Outrider. Coming up. Taking a good look at the box, this is definitely not typical FansToys packaging. Very simple, very plain, and I'm pretty sure this, I mean, it's kind of, some stuff's cool about it, but I really think this was sort of an unbranded looking box. It says Tesla for whatever reason on there. Don't know, but probably has something to do with the fact that Takara is making a Trailbreaker, and they announced it, so whatever, but that's the box that it comes in. Alright, so here is Outrider in all of his glory, and overall, a very nice looking figure, pretty solid feel to him. I mean, actually, really solid feel to him, so I do like that about the figure a lot. And there is some paint, and maybe all of it's painted, but there's some paint that's got that metallic a little bit to just the knees area, more or less, and the rest of it is very, very matte finish, and I don't know what I think about that, because even though I like the really tuned look myself, it's still, it feels a bit plain for FansToys. And so some people love that, some people hate that, and will there be a repaint? I don't know. So anyway, let's get into looking deeper and closer. I do like the parts being chromed. That is very nice looking right there. Oddly enough, it's just kind of a silver gun and not chromed. So I'm not sure if you'd want that chromed or not, but this tip here is chromed also, so that looks pretty good. The blue's a slightly different blue on the windshield than what Takara uses. It's close, but it's a little bit darker. The metallic blue on the eyes looks pretty good too. And I don't know if the rest of that face is actually painted or just the dye in the plastic or not. We do have the chrome down here, which we'll see in the alt mode. And then, of course, we talked about this being a sort of metallic paint right here. But I'm guessing all of it is painted. You can see kind of the waviness. So this is a sort of a flat matte paint. And there is a bit of a sheen to it looking at it real close. But on my shelf, under the lighting on my shelf, it does not show up as shiny at all. So next to the other FansToys figures that are really shiny, it doesn't shine much at all. But even down on the feet, the legs look super clean. And I do like that. And from the back, he's very clean. So, I mean, overall, they've done a pretty good job with him, and in bot mode, nice and clean. Now, I will get into my biggest negative about him is just the way they've done this hood. And it's up too high, and it's up a bit too high. I think it should be lower, but, I mean, the transformation, it's already kind of done. There's no way to really adjust that, but it does give him a little bit more pronounced of a narrower waist. If you moved it lower, he would look a little more tubby. I don't know, but that's my biggest problem with the figure. I mean, that out of the way, it's a pretty solid figure overall. Let's get into articulation, and there's a few things about the articulation. First off, with let's the head side to side, and it does do what Hound did, the Hound thing. So I haven't heard anyone complain about that, but I've heard a lot of people complain about the Takara Hound doing this, but now this guy does it and it's fine. So strange, isn't it? Isn't that strange? Anyway, then we have this rotation at the shoulder. Now, I don't know. I feel like I'm hanging up on this piece here, this rear view mirror. So I don't know if I like how they've done the rear view mirror. I feel like it hangs up, and and I'm just being super careful with it too. It is ratcheted, so that's nice. So it can go out to about there before you start messing up that mirror. So kind of strange. Okay, you do have the bicep swivel, and you do have about that much range in this, so it's not double jointed or anything. It's not a super hyper articulated or anything. Pretty much all I would need though, so I'm not really too upset about it. But when we get to the X-Transbots, the shoulders was a big problem with the X-Transbots for everybody. Waist swivel, and you got an ab crunch. you have to sort of disconnect it, and then it connects back in. And then we have the hiding hip flaps. I like that. I like the hiding hip flaps. It doesn't have hip flaps. It has like this piece, this joint that is hidden, and it's nice and tight and ratcheted. It goes up a little higher than the 90. Only goes back so far. Again, I don't see much more range needed there. This is a friction joint out here. We do have the thigh swivel, and then I think this is strange, but look how low that joint is for the knee. It's like super low. Not a huge deal or anything, but it just seems a bit odd proportionally. And then the foot side to side, a little bit down, not a whole lot of range. But see, the thing about it not having a whole lot of range is it does hold position very well because it doesn't have that amount of range. It sort of stops right there, so it's going to hold its position. All right, for accessories, we have this radar dish that will go for the alt mode. We have, and that's nice and chromed, that we have an extra hand, give them a hand instead of this other piece right here. You can swap that out and put the hand on there. And then we have two what appear to be yelling faces. Let's get that. Two yelling faces, and then we have a more sort of stern, maybe a sad, grimacing face. So let's see how we put those on. So you take his hound head and lift it up, and then you flip that, and then comes out of there like so, and then you put on a smiling face like so, and then close it up. There it is. His head's coming apart. Yeah, that's how you change his head out. It's nice and easy. It's simple. Don't know if I need him yelling or not, but there he is, yelling. Pretty cool, pretty good overall. It's nice and easy. I like when things like this are easy and work and don't cause you to mess your figure up. For comparison, here he is next to the G1. I'm gonna kind of hold him. Mine's a bit of a floppy mess, but I paid $5 for him like 20 years ago, so gets the job done for a G1. Here he is next to the KO MP44 with silver legs and the FansToys Springer. So even Springer has a bit more of a sheen to it than this guy, but I'm kind of sort of warming up to what they did with the paint the more I look at it. But yeah, there's a comparison, size, all that. I think he's a good size too. I think his height is pretty much perfect for the character. And next to the X-Transbots. So I got a lot of stuff to say about these guys side by side. Now, the first thing that I want to say is that I probably should have held on to my version that had the silver legs, because I like that silver legged one better, a better aesthetic than this one here. But this one still looks pretty good. The X-Transbot still holds up pretty well. It's kind of got a bit of a blue purplish tint to it, but it is pretty dang shiny, if you can see the shine on that right there. And overall, aesthetically, I think they both work. Now, this does look a little sleeker, slimmer, trimmer, and we're going to do a little bit more comparison to that here in just a second. But it does feel more solid. There's more heft. Well, they're both, maybe they weigh the same because this guy's a little bit bigger and bulkier and beefier. But I do like how X-Transbots did this part a little bit better. Get the light on that. So this is probably my biggest hang up of this figure. And I like this a little bit better. In fact, I would have liked it to lap up just a little bit and cover it just a little bit, that little gap there, to where this is just way up over there. So that's kind of strange. Okay, side by side, X-Transbots. And still, X-Transbots is more or less pretty clean, except you get down to the legs. FansToys destroys it in the legs. So still not bad overall. And then from the back, FansToys is way cleaner in the legs. More or less similar cleanness in the upper area. So because you got this, whatever, this piece here, and then this is kind of broken up. It does clip together. The FansToys clips together more solid, because this here does kind of not really hold in place for me very well. Maybe I should put, I don't want to push too hard on that one, so it could clip in better if I gave it more force. But still, I don't think X-Transbots is a bad one, and if FansToys never ever put theirs out, I'd have still just been happy with what X-Transbots did overall. So not bad, but I think FansToys is a little bit better for a few reasons, even though this whole area is kind of a problem. All right, let's get into transforming this guy, and let's push this in a bit so we can get these hand pieces here tucked away. Got to push that in pretty hard to get that in there. Okay. Now it's all lined up more or less. Same thing on the other side more or less, but you do want to kind of twist the fist around. It wouldn't go in the normal way. There we go. And we want to start working on these legs down here. And so that's kind of strange. Anyway, starting with these legs, we are going to untab them like so, and fold the foot down like so. Lift this wheel out, fold these tabs in, and then, okay, so that's already, then we're going to slide this piece here down, part of the leg, and then bring all this up. Don't think I have this up enough. And tab that in. Yeah, you definitely have to force that wheel in place there, which is kind of crazy. Okay, looking at the other side here, we do need to do the same thing. Opening this up. Let's fold this down, bring this out, and tab it in place a little bit tighter than I did with the first one. Fold these pieces in on themselves. Fold this down. And then this goes into this cavity, and that tabs together. Now we need to open this up right here. And so let's get that opened up. Flipping out, this is kind of like the bottom of the door or so, I believe. All right, so we've got that part done. There is a spot right here if you want to put your gun, these tabs. I think it's going to rub the paint off, so I'm not going to mess with it, but there's notches and tabs. Anyway, I won't really mess with that myself because I want to keep mine with as few scratches as possible. So, all right, so let's lift his hound head up, and I think I need to adjust the camera up a bit. I'm gonna be going off frame here, and it seems like we would split this. There's a lot of tabs that hold the back on. It's mostly tabbed in the back, so that's where the biggest amount of this is. So you want to pull that out, and then we disconnect this back piece here. Pull that down. Got to clear this. So let's see. How am I going to clear this? And this, I don't know if it's ratcheted. It just sounds like it's got a ratchet to it, but it's just kind of a squeak. But that is super tight, which I do like tight. I like it in there nice and tight because of the fact that you don't have to worry about it being all floppy, loose mess. So that's a good thing in the end. We will need to pull this down and fold this up, and then like it disconnected when we swapped the head out, this just comes out and then it'll tuck down in here like so. Let's just go ahead and make sure that this part here is flat and level, and we'll kind of leave the head out just a bit, folding this up out of the way so we can get these other parts here out. And so this goes like this, and then this goes like this. I'm going off camera, so let me try to do this side on camera, and then can kind of just get this sort of in the way there. Now this is going to all fold into here. It's turning into a mess. Okay, this will all fold into here. So we've got to put all this stuff away. So that's pretty simple, folding down like so. And there's even like almost like a notch for it. And then we need to fold this around and get this into position here. And then we'll be able to cover all of this up with this piece. All right, I keep going off camera, so I backtrack just a little bit. So anyway, we do need to open up this door, fold this piece here down. Just almost scary tight. And then we're gonna fold this in, and we have to be careful not to mess up this piece here. Okay, good. It's on there. Good. All right, so folding this thing in, and then folds like so. But we got to keep the door in its position, so a little challenging there. Kind of get a close-up of it. Just kind of smoothly falls right into place like that. But I'm not sure why the door itself isn't smoothly staying out. But it looks simple enough, but this tab that's like right here goes into that slot, which is strange in a way, but it does fit if you get it in there. It's just hard to capture that piece on camera. So we're going to do the same thing with the other side of the door. Finish this up, and then we're going to fold this around into here, and make sure it goes in properly at the proper angles. See, nope, need to flip this back around so it fits. That's gonna make it fit. And then we need to get this tab into here. So, fun stuff. This goes into here, and then that all folds into it. So, start folding this stuff in on itself, and now it's going to collapse. This is gonna go down into here, and I'll start holding that into place on each side. Then get the door out of there on each side. I actually think I'm making it look harder than it is, and flip the wheel around here, flip the wheel around here, and then we can start the fun process of closing it all up. It just took a second to make sure everything's aligned, and so as you close this up, you're going to find it does actually kind of close just fine, just the way it should, and you can already start filling it tab in, and there's a tab right there that you've got to make sure that goes in just right, and then there's tabs in the back and tabs on the top and all of that good stuff, and then the doors open and the doors can close and all of that. So make sure that you didn't break off the rear view side view mirrors and all that kind of stuff, and then tighten it up. So here he is in his alt mode, and he does look pretty good, and overall it's a decent mode. I think X-Transbots and MMC's alt modes probably still win in the end, but I'm not gonna have this guy in alt mode more than 5 minutes. So looking at it right here on the side, we have these stripes. I think there's a whole lot more paint detail in the X-Transbots alt mode, and maybe even the MMCs. We do have some clear tail lights. Now this is painted instead of translucent, and it's a good thing because the way this transforms, that translucent plastic would have had no chance of surviving. This is kind of cool. It looks like he's like carrying some cargo back there, although it's just bought parts, and then we really can't see what's going on inside there. And there's really no need for the door to open. Like, the door opens, but there's no need for it. And once I've got it closed, it's not as easy to open as it was to close. I still have a bit of a gap right here, and if I was going to keep this in alt mode longer than 5 minutes, I'd sort that out, but it's not that big of a deal. Don't have the gap on this side, so Something I just did wrong, I'm sure. But nice chrome in the front, orange translucent, painted on the side though. So it's orange translucent and painted. So these reels should match. But nitpicking, I mean, I'm not going to nitpick. I think it does look pretty good. We got the blue stripe right here, which oddly enough, it just doesn't seem... There we go, push it in a little bit more. Now, if you did want this, if you didn't want to display this, when you were transforming it, you would need to flip that around. There's no way to flip that around right now. So I'm kind of stuck. The rear view mirror pieces are on there and they look pretty good. Very scary thinking I was going to break these during transformation. But yeah, overall, pretty good alt mode. Let's look at it from this side. Looks good. Let's do some comparisons. All right, for some comparisons, here he is next to a pretty raggedy looking G1 figure. So, yeah, but you know, you can't beat $5 20 years ago. So where we came from, where we're going, they actually did a good job on the alt mode back in the G1 era. Here he is next to a KO MP44 Optimus Prime, and that's nice right there. It works, get the job done. I think the scale on this is actually sort of decent. And here he is with a bunch of people he didn't spend any time with really on screen. But if you want to see scale, FansToys, X-Transbots, and Takara. Nice representation of different styles from different companies. So there is my look at the FansToys Outrider. It's been a long time coming for this character, and finally we have it in hand. Very solid figure, hefty, die-cast metal used, just pretty much everything that you would expect from FansToys, but a bit of a limited articulation, which really doesn't bother me overall. I'm not a huge fan of how they did the hood right there, but overall, I'm still pretty happy with the figure, and it probably is going to be my take on Trailbreaker. But if you have a different version that you like, and you just don't want to pony up the like $189 for this guy, then you might want to just stick with the one you have. But if you've been waiting for one and you've waited 5 years for the FansToys, well, here it is, and it's here for you. And I have the link down below where you can get yours at Show Z. Like and subscribe. Todium Hanger out.
Make it ricochet to that exact spot marked X. Then ricochet back up again to that same stone.
Piece of chrome alloy cake, huh? What happened to ready and get set?
I got so excited, I guess I forgot.
Conduct a chip with hypnotic properties. Diabolical.
I'm right behind you. Stop! On yet, it isn't! Run!